Because this sounds like, honestly, like teenage boy drama.
Totally
and the fact that I have to sit here and like listen to you guys talk about this is ridiculous.
Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We're going to break down this week's episode of The Bachelorette. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Gabby Ganta and Avery Grooms. Hi guys.
Hey, Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
Hello, hello. So this was a pretty big week. I feel like we had a lot of anticipations, a lot of theories that we worked so very hard developing that were certainly proved wrong. And it's setting the stage for a pretty intense rest of the season. Let's just dive right in with the resolution, sort of the Noah and Bennett cliffhanger. We were hoping that drama had finally reached its conclusion, and for a minute here, it looked like it did. We, of course, were so eager to see this play out. Bennett was ultimately sent home, but that did not mean that Tayshia was thrilled with Noah's performance either. She didn't choose to give him the rose. She also said to him point blank that she didn't think he was ready for marriage. Now, we obviously have more Bennett talk later on in this recap, but for now, what are your thoughts on how all of this played out, how they handled it, how Tayshia handled it, and ultimately, did she make the right choice? What do you think, Gabby?
I think she handled it really well. I think she gave them a chance to interact in the beginning and see exactly what was going on between them, and then she ended up taking them both separately to go talk and really try to get to the bottom of it from each of their perspectives. And I think that's when she got a clear picture of what is going on. I think Bennett was really just trying to talk his way out of everything because it did look bad from his side of it. And of course, Noah explained what was in the gift and she didn't really like that. So there are pros and cons to each of these guys. And I think, just like she said, she was pretty confused and not sure what decision to make, so she didn't end up giving a rose at all, but Bennett did end up going home. So I think she had stronger feelings for Noah, but, certainly wasn't sure about that yet. So Bennett was certainly shocked in that moment when he was sent home, though. But overall, I think Tayshia handled it really well for the situation.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think she handled it super well. I mean, it was such an odd situation with the whole gift and confrontation, and it was just weird. But I feel like if she was going to keep Noah around, he didn't deserve the rose in that moment. So I understand why she didn't give it to him. Like, we're not rewarding bad behavior. But at the same time, if she didn't give him the rose because he's not ready for marriage or that's what she thinks, then why is she also keeping him? So obviously she likes him and wants to keep him around. But at the same time, there's definitely stronger relationships. So, it's part of the show, but it's just a weird situation. Of course, she handled it so well.
She really did. She's been such a star bachelorette all season. So we love you, Tayshia. But let's move on and talk about the cocktail party because there's still tons of other relationships that she's exploring right now. And she got to do that after she squashed some of the Bennett and Noah drama. With Riley, she had some one-on-one time and he did a cute little surprise for her. He ended up getting her a small cake because they were celebrating their 1 week anniversary as boyfriend and girlfriend after he asked her last week to be his girlfriend. So that was really cute. And, she says she loves surprises. So she was certainly happy in that moment. Then Zach also surprised her with a framed picture of them, one of the ones they took during their wedding clothes photo shoot. So that was adorable and she loved that gift. Then Ben and her were working on their kissing skills. A little bit of a flirty moment, but they got some time together that night. And someone who didn't get time, though, was Noah. And he was stressing out about that because he had spent most of the time with her earlier in the night, squashing all the drama, getting to the bottom of it with Noah and with Bennett. And they didn't actually get to talk or further their relationship. So he figured that was going to be a good teller for if he was going to get a rose or not, and he was definitely stressing in that moment. Before we get to the rose ceremony, though, I want to hear from you guys. It was such a fun, cute date night with all of these guys at the cocktail party. So what did you think about, these dates and who was in danger going into this next rose ceremony, Fiona? What did you think?
I thought that it was such a great night after such like a stressful pre-date. I was really glad that Tayshia's mood turned around. She seemed like she was really enjoying her experience again. All in all, many, many wonderful things. But I do think that like heading into this rose ceremony, I'm starting to do the like, all right, well, we're not seeing a lot of this person. We haven't heard from them in a while. Like the connection is so clearly stronger with, the Zachs, the Bens. So I think it's going to start to get to that place in every competition show where you're like, okay, that guy's got to go next. Okay, that guy's got to go next. And then we're going to hit our wall and it's going to be just our front runners. And I'm going to be so stressed.
I totally agree. We're at the point of the show where I feel like the people who are going to be around are the ones getting camera time. And that's very telling during these cocktail parties. Because people like Spencer, I haven't really seen him as like the show goes on. I feel like we see less and less of him. And of course, some others. That's just the first name that popped in my head. But it's kind of, it's interesting because it kind of gives things away. But at the same time, it makes it very obvious who's going home. It's almost not a shock anymore. But it was pretty like you said, a calm, nice cocktail party after a stressful couple days. And I think Zach especially, we saw like their relationship just blossom even more during this cocktail party, and Riley too. So always love to see that. But we got to talk about the rose ceremony and who she ended up eliminating. The guys immediately noticed there were only 5 roses, and each ceremony is just getting tougher and tougher. That being said, she sent home Ed, Demar, Spencer, and decided to keep Noah. Now, I was not surprised by who she sent home. Like we just said, it's getting kind of obvious. But I was sad to see Demar go. I understand they don't have that great of a connection, but he was one of the guys I really like. So I'm sad to see him go. I definitely would have kept him over Noah, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Were you surprised, upset, happy with this outcome? If you could save anyone, who would it be?
I was pretty surprised because Spencer got her first impression rose, and I don't think we've seen someone who gets the first impression rose like not make it to the top 4 or 3 or 2 or something like that in like years of seasons. So I was pretty shocked about that. Like you said, we were seeing less and less of Spencer. So it made sense that he went home, but it was just like, what happened to their spark or what happened to their initial chemistry? I was like pretty shocked about that. She has like such great things going on with the other guys. So like I said, it makes sense. But just like, wow, what a shift in Bachelor history. I think this entire season has just been like such a flip on its head. But that's why I was surprised. If I had to save someone, I think it would have been Demar as well. He just seems like so fun. And that they probably could have had a better chance at a good relationship if they had more time over, all the time she wasted on Noah and things like that, and then keeping him around for another week.
Well, honestly, I was just really excited to see Ed go home. I don't mean to just like be a hater, but I was tired of Ed, and I just feel like they don't have a connection. So I was ready for Ed to go. I agree with you guys. If there was anyone out of that bunch to save, I think it was Demar, because either they did get time and it was just kind of boring and dull, and so we really just didn't see it because it didn't make the cut, or it didn't seem like they got a lot of time. And the moments we did see didn't seem dull. So I agree with you guys. I think there could have been something there. I think Spencer ended up being a really beautiful, like handsome guy that made a great first impression, but like kind of quiet, kind of boring. So I don't know. I think this was kind of a group that, not to sound like cold-hearted, but I was okay with parting with. It's going to get harder from here. This one was okay. I cannot wait to see how it all plays out. You guys, we want to know your predictions for next week and of course your reactions to this week. So let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell, because we will be covering all things Bachelorette all season long. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. I was joined by the wonderful Gabby Ganta and Avery Grooms. If you guys want to keep up with us on socials, our handles are on the screen right now. Come say hi. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.